What's up guys, welcome to the Far Side. This is Migs and this is my breakdown of House of the Dragon episode 7 preview trailer. I'll discuss the lore to provide some context on some of the scenes, so careful for spoilers, especially if you haven't watched episode 6. If you're new to the channel, we discuss everything about funerals, daggers, and everything in between. We're as green as the council, and like them, we're taking our shots. So please consider a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate your support. Let's get into this, let's go. We're back in Driftmark with the entirety of the royal house, both greens and blacks, are in attendance for the traditional burial of Laenor Velaryon and her unborn child, one of the casualties of the year of the Red Spring in the year 120 AC, so named because of multiple deaths, and the year's not over yet. Last episode we saw her tragic pregnancy, where she sought out Vhagar for her dragon rider's death. Her casket looks to be made from wood, possibly driftwood, and this may be the traditional burial for House Velaryon. Velaryons are seafarers and adventurers, first to settle in Westeros from Valyria, settling on the island Driftmark. The royal family comes together once again. Princess Rhaenyra and her family returned to Dragonstone, the seat of House Targaryen, leaving Queen Alicent Hightower and the rest of the Greens in King's Landing during the last episode. Daemon brought the remains of his wife and her daughters Baela and Rhaena from Pentos, and we see the entire family reunited in Driftmark. Notice the children are played by the same actors from the last episode. There will be another time jump within the series. The young actors will be replaced by another set of young adults, just like in episode 6. The voiceover was from former Hand of the King and now Hand once again, Otto Hightower, played by Rhys Ifans. One of the more ambitious characters in the show, the former Hand of the King, Lyonel Strong, along with his son, died in a fire, and Larys Strong was actually behind it. Arguably, he's the most morally compromised character to date from both Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Alicent Hightower, his daughter, would be very delighted as Otto is a strong supporter of her son's ascension to the throne. We get to see Rhaenys Targaryen talking with someone. This might be Corlys Velaryon, the sea snake head of House Velaryon. She is holding a ring which might be a Targaryen heirloom she passed to Laena. As the voiceover says, we play a dangerous game. Otto might be talking to his daughter here, referring to the schemes and machinations to replace the princess with Aegon. Another voiceover by Daemon says, if you're to be a strong queen, your subjects must fear you. We see the current queen on a boat, probably during the voyage to Driftmark, then cuts to the princess. His advice reflects his personality. He values strength and wouldn't hesitate to use fear and intimidation as tools to gain the upper hand. In the previous episodes, members of the small council were afraid that he might turn to another Maegor should he ascend the Iron Throne. Princess Rhaenyra, on the other hand, this time says fire is such a strange power, referring to the power of her house stemming from dragon fire. As we see a scene of Vhagar about to spit fire and the dagger containing the fire message from Aegon the Conqueror, she continues everything that House Targaryen possesses is owed to it, which refers to Aegon winning the conquest of the Seven Kingdoms with 3 full-grown dragons. They show a scene of Vhagar, who's probably the most powerful dragon since Balerion's death. She's more than a match for any of the younger dragons, and the side that possesses her has the upper hand. Then we see a scene of the Blacks, Daemon, Rhaenyra, Corlys, and a bloody young Jace. The previous Cold War will turn to open hostilities as lines are drawn between both parties. This incident involves the children as they come to blows about their heritage. In the books, Luke lashed Aemond's eye out in a scuffle for calling them Strongs, as in Sons of Harwin Strong, instead of their legal father Laenor. Next we see Vhagar leaving in the dead of night. Baela and Rhaena see this and say she's being stolen. This is Aemond claiming Vhagar as his dragon before the incident. This was set up last episode too. The other children teased him by giving him a pig with twigs for wings, and he's obsessed with getting one for himself. That's why he went inside the dragon pit trying to look for a dragon. He almost got roasted by one actually, which might probably be Sunfire, Aegon's golden dragon. They show a lot of scenes here, but we get one in the Hall of Nine, so named after the 9 voyages Corlys took around the world. On each of those voyages, he brought back vast wealth and treasures to his ancestral seat. Many of those treasures decorated the Hall of Nine. Viserys have even remarked how impressive it is. We get a scene here with a white-haired dude strangling another person. Can't really tell who this is from the angle. My guess is this is Daemon strangling Sir Carl. Since the start of the season, Daemon has been a wild card. We never know what he's gonna do. Here he might be after Laenor. With him out of the way, there's a clear path to Princess Rhaenyra, bring him that much closer to the Iron Throne. They spent time developing their attraction, but Daemon's plans just didn't didn't pan out so far, but we know he will do anything to get ahead, and although he kind of took a break from that and started a family. We see Laenor fighting someone here. We'll see if Laenor survives Daemon this episode, but I wouldn't be surprised if he makes his move early. We see a hooded person here in the docks. This might be Daemon arriving in Driftmark. The queen says there's a debt to be paid. We can see Aegon there at the back looking down. This was probably after the fight, and she's referring to Aemond losing an eye. In the book, she wanted Luke to pay the same way, an eye for an eye kind of deal. Then we might be seeing the fight between the kids as Rhaena and Baela witness what happened. The highest of treasons reference here is a little vague, but may point to the queen's demand that Luke, basically in line to the throne, lose an eye as well. Finally see Otto return rocking out the out of work look here. He was fired 10 years ago and just hanging out in Old Town, I guess. One of the few characters to age gracefully. We see Larys Strong, who orchestrated the circumstances allowing Otto to return. Last episode, he's like, I do this for you and you owe me, like a boss. He's one of the more prominent members of the Green Council, and we'll meet them later in the season. The Black Council too, on the flip side, both factions should be finalized and introduced before we end the season. Then we see basically the climax of this episode. Alicent takes the Velaryon blade off of her husband King Viserys and is too old and feeble, so he can't do anything about it. I think she wants to do the demand for herself, as in take the eye from Luke. She really didn't want to stab Rhaenyra. The princess just stops her, I guess. That's the scene where she says, finally, you show them who you are. Now everybody knows how bad of a person she is. Alicent isn't used to not getting her way, and the incident with her children puts her on the edge. Then the voiceover from Otto saying in time they will prevail, and we see the queen looking distraught, like she never intended for things to escalate to that level. And we see this in the last episode. She hates the princess, but she barely makes her move. Larys ends up taking point to realize her wishes. Otto implies that they should take their time and they'll get what they want in the end, saying that the Blacks have won the battle, but the Dance of the Dragon have not started. As heated as things got, the actual dance has not happened as of yet. That will occur once the king dies. He was actually healthy last time we saw him, and there are indications he'll live until right before the last episode. By that time, we see the formation of the Green and Black Councils. That's when things will turn for the worse, and both sides are plunged into this conflict, and the real crazy stuff happens. That's it from me, guys. Let me know what you guys think will happen in the episode. Everybody check out my episode 6 breakdown too. Watch out for other content in the channel too, like the Last of Us trailer, and we also got some Deadpool news, so watch out for those too. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support of the channel. Keep rocking out there, and see you on the next one.